What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. If you just bought your first slate call, or if you're just new to turkey hunting and want to start calling, this video is for you. I'm going to show you how to use your slate, plus 3 basic calls that you can perform with your slate, plus some tips and tricks to help you be able to locate and give yourself the best chance at getting your next gobbler. So first things first, let's take a deeper look at the actual slate call. The turkey slate call consists of some simple components. The first one being the turkey slate. The slate surface is where you create the friction to where you can create the real sound of a turkey. The next component is going to be your striker. Your striker is what you rub on top of your slate that creates the friction, which causes there to be a sound that gets amplified. And lastly, you're going to have your pot. The pot is the part that amplifies the sound waves that are created with the friction, sending it out for the turkey to hear in the woods. Now I'm going to go over how to properly hold your slate call. I place the pot in the palm of my hand with my fingertips wrapped around the edges. I leave a gap in between the bottom of the pot and my palm so that the sound waves are not blocked by my palm and they can be amplified and sent out into the woods. I hold the striker how I would a pen or a pencil. With my palm, I put it up against the base of the slate, not on the actual slate, but kind of on the side. I found myself being more consistent with my calling when my palm is actually on the base of the slate. That way I'm not freehanding it and I can have a stable area that I know that I'm going to make the same sound every single time. Or the proper way to put the striker onto the slate to create your turkey sound, put your striker directly 90 degrees up in the air and then tilt it away from you at a 45-degree angle, and then rubbing kind of the edge of your striker along the slate will create your turkey sound. So the first of the 3 sounds that we're going to make is going to be the cluck. This is a short, sharp sound made by striking the surface of your slate in a short, quick motion. When moving the striker back into position to make a second cluck, make sure you don't remove the tip of the striker from the slate, because then it'll disrupt the sound and it won't sound like a normal turkey. A turkey usually does the cluck when it's a solo bird, and they typically make the cluck sound 2 or 3 times in a row. Turkey use the cluck to get the attention of one another. It's a good call to use when there's a gobbler approaching and you want to let him know that there's a hen there waiting for him. So this is going to be your cluck sound. So the next call I'm going to show you is the purr. The purr is genuinely not a loud sound because it's typically made whenever turkey are feeding. This is a good call to use when a gobbler's approaching and within the range if you still need to make a call for a kill shot. In order to make the purr, you're going to want to do the same thing you would with a cluck, pointing it at a 45-degree away and striking it toward you. But you're going to kind of apply pressure and let it kind of drag and skip across your slate. Before we get into our last call, I just wanted to stop real quick and say if you guys are liking the content and finding it informational, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help out a ton. And don't forget to go drop a comment and let me know where you're going to be turkey hunting this season. Now let's go on to our last call. Lastly, we have one of the most important calls you can use when turkey hunting, which is the yelp. The yelp is commonly used by a hen to communicate with a gobbler during mating season, but it can have different meanings depending on how the hen is using it during the year and over time. You can change the tone of your yelp by adding and removing pressure when you're actually striking your slate. To yelp, you want to apply moderate pressure and go in a circular motion on your slate. I personally like to combine the cluck and the purr to get the gobblers fired up and wanting to come check out what the hens are doing. And if you don't have a designated field to hunt or something like that, you can actually use the yelp to locate where your gobblers are roosted up at. And remember, practice makes perfect, so make sure you spend some time practicing these calls to perfect them before you go out into the field. Before we wrap up, I have a few tips and tricks to keep in mind when you're using your slate call. Tip number 1 is always keep your slate call conditioned by rubbing wool or sandpaper on it. This removes any rough spots and ensures a smooth, consistent sound. Tip number 2 is going to be experiment with different strikers. Each striker makes a different sound, so find the one that works best for you and that you feel most comfortable with. And finally, tip number 3 is going to be practice proper calling techniques. Pay attention to cadence, rhythm, and volume of your call so you can mimic the real sound of a real turkey. I hope you enjoyed my breakdown on how to properly use a turkey slate call. I hope you found it helpful and I hope it improves your turkey calling game. Remember, patience and practice are key, so keep on honing your skills. And most importantly, stay safe out in the woods. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see y'all in the next video.